Yes, it's currently used as a drainage ditch for a nitrite pond that's located on the west side of Westlake Drive.
So, is there a recommendation there?
Like I say in the report, we say in the report, no change recommended.
So leave it alone.
I would suggest that, although all of these should be reviewed by, Larry Penny and company.
Right,
Okay, so
the
then we
next
go
one-
down toward,
Sure, then WL1 is an
is that
example.
by the old Anchorage
Yes.
or whatever it was?
Yes, and that is an example of something that may have been done by the town that adversely affected the public's ability to access the lake. So as we all know from...
What was that, Jay? What do you mean?
It was an area that was freely used by, in fact, the town used to run sailing lessons off of that site. You probably remember that, Bill. And it was assumed by all residents that it was town-owned, and in fact, you can see, if you look at it, it's quite a wide swath of land that runs down to the water. About 10 or 12 years ago, an owner, the person who bought the Anchorage, then subdivided the land, created 3 buildable plots, and it seems that somehow got possession of land that was formerly town. So that very...
Do you know when that was?
It was the former owner, not the current owner, so I don't know exactly when the transaction occurred, but we're basing our current knowledge on the tax map, which shows that there are 3 building lots and that are actually separate from the main house.
So we have to look at that to see if we have any dog in that fight, period.
I would recommend that because it really is the only...
So there's a scenic easement?
There is a scenic easement for drainage. Again, that has a nitrate pond on the west side of that. So there's a drainage ditch that the town maintains easement.
Does a scenic easement allow us to put an access? Okay. So now we go to the old Westlake or Southlake Drive.
Right. So those 2 access points basically mean that Westlake Drive has no access. We go to Old Westlake Drive where there is access.
So Westlake, I'm sorry, let me go back. Westlake has no access to the lake at all.
Except for a launching ramp and 2 town-owned docks.
The launching ramp allows boat owners to launch their boats. It doesn't allow a person who wants to go clamming, who owns a clam rake and a bucket. There's no clamming allowed in the harbor, so they can't. It's of no use to someone who wants to just go clamming.
So you're saying that you can put your boat in the water there, but the accesses that you're concerned of is more like on foot for clammers.
Clammers and folks that want to go kayaking.
Anybody wants access
But
to
kayaking, you can put a kayaking in there, done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So in fairness, since there is no clamming on that side of the lake, in fairness, there is one access, and it's a Westlake Drive boat launch.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Just to be clear, because I know you didn't include it in the report, and I just want everybody, when you say there is no access on Westlake Drive, there is a boat launch there.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, let's go to Old Westlake.
So Old Westlake, we have, as you know, the most active access point for clamming.
Right.
Even that isn't marked unless it's been marked very recently as town.
It's used a lot, but it's not marked well. Right?
Used a lot by residents and commercial baymen. We're not really recommending any change to that, although maybe signage would be a good thing. In fact, that's a general recommendation for all of these points, that some signage should be. The town apparently does own Osborne Island, I think, as far as I know. But as you can see on that map, there's a property that extends out into Osborne Cove where the owners claim underwater rights. And I've had them attempt to exert those rights on me.
Is that 1.3?
Threaten physical harm as well.
Is that 1.5 or 1.34C that you're talking about?
Right. So they don't have their property marked, but if you're just a regular me and you want to get out to Alpha Island, but you may...
He's claiming underwater rights out here,
Is it marked with buoys?
which,
So then you,
You know that they don't, there's not one buoy in that lake.
Right.
That's property.
but can I actually, please stop here for a second, just ask John the question. So if a homeowner on Lake Montauk owns underwater land and is not marked it off, like in this case, because this is a good example, not marked it off with buoys, and let's say I walk in on that town-owned piece and I'm clamming on their property and it's not marked off, like how would I know? Am I at fault, or am I putting myself in trouble, or is it the homeowner's job to buoy their underwater property if they care about restricting clamming there?
But the boundaries of the underwater land are supposed to be marked and posted.
So if it's not marked and posted,
but if
it
they
can
are
cross
not,
over it.
if they are not, does the homeowner have the right to ask people to leave his property?
You can put people on notice that it's your property, and then they can be deemed to have knowledge of that in the future. So, yes,
But
theoretically, they could.
With underwater land, if it's not buoyed, like how would you know? Like you're looking at a lake, it's not
Well,
like
the
there's
reality
any
is that
topographical
the reality is that
indication.
all these homes around the lake have underwater rights, correct?
Yeah.
Pretty much all of them, yes.
But only 3 of them, I think there's only 3 that put buoys out.
I just want to make one comment on the buoys. There's not one there that is properly placed by a surveyor. And if you speak to any surveyor, they will tell you
Interesting.
the homeowner-placed buoys are not accurate, number 1. Number 2, there is no surveyor who will survey them because surveyors are people who work in an exact science.
Right.
Monuments, if you're in a moving boat and you attempt to place a physical monument, you can't be 100% sure it was placed accurately.
Okay.
So it's even questionable as to whether or not any homeowner-placed buoy is legitimate.
Okay. So,
Okay.
all right.
We got it. We got it. So the South Lake, South Lake is town property
Right.
with a public access.
Particularly missed this Montauk Highway, reserve adjacent to Crow's Nest. Did we talk about that?
No, that's this one coming in.
No, we haven't gotten to Crow's Nest yet, or maybe I skipped over Crow's Nest.
I think
That's a
you
good
skipped
point.
over it.
To the west of Crow's Nest, where's Crow's Nest? Here? To
It's
the
the
no, that's to the east of
east
Crow's.
side. There's a large reserve area that is wetland.
But that is the access, the northern access is blocked by other property owners, correct?
As far as we could tell, the entire land that the town owns is wetland and not really suitable for access.
It's just not easily accessible.
Yeah.
It's private property, right?
No.
Well, what's in front of it? Is that lake? Is that underwater?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
underwater.
that's underwater.
Yeah, but people own the underwater. Do we know who owns the underwater? It's not the town, but it doesn't seem to.
Who owns like 18.4?
This is the shoreline here.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't really know.
Yeah, these are underwater rights,
So
so
wouldn't this be us?
Is that the-
18.4?
is that this owner?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
It just says town, like over here, it'll say town, just have it. So since it doesn't say it there, it implies it's the other.
Okay.
So the recommendation for that piece is,
From what we could see, it did not represent a viable access point. It's also questionable. I believe that area of the lake is closed during the summer season to clamming because of the E. coli levels.
okay.
So I don't think it's worth pursuing, but again, I'm just one guy.
Okay.
Okay, as we